When your heart is broken, it can feel like the end of the world. We all have been there once in our life. As humans, we long to be in a relationship. Very few individuals that have came across are perfectly happy, being with random relationships without any commitment. But for many of us, a breakup leaves us begging to be loved. We find ourselves with a sense of being a victim as our heart has shattered into a million pieces. As I was going through this breakup myself, I find that we as humans still go through the cycle of grief, being shocked, being in denial, anger, loneliness, abandonment, depression, and then finally finding meaning and overcoming. This is a wound that you can't apply like medicine as you do on a cut on the outside. Of course, there are prescription drugs to help with your ability to cope, but it does one thing, and that is only to numb the pain. Liam Neeson, in one of his movies, said something that resonated with me. Here's a snippet of a scene.
But I know the rage that drives you, that impossible anger strangling the grief until the memory of your loved one is just poison in your veins. And one day you catch yourself wishing the person you loved had never existed, so you'd be spared your pain.
It is interesting. With time after a breakup, the mind will attempt to justify why it happened. Things like, the star signs are not compatible, and that's why we do not match, and this ended up in a breakup. Or perhaps you are the type to check your psychographic personality test to come to some sense of conclusion as to why this has happened. We go to our families and friends, and the bottom line is we hear is forgive and forget, or to move on, yet no one exactly tells you how to move on. And then we start to seek answers in the religious texts, be it the Bible or the Quran, or quotes online about heartbreaks. We watch YouTube on all the gurus we can find, something out there that can give us that one thing that can take the pain away. And sometimes we seek some higher knowledge like this.
Genuine love says, I love you, therefore I want you to be happy. If that includes me, great. If it doesn't include me, I just want your happiness. And so it's a very different feeling. Attachment is like holding very tight, but genuine love is like holding very gently, nurturing, but allowing things to flow, not to be held tightly. The more tight we hold on to others, the more we will suffer.
Now, I have to admit, after going through this myself and reading all this and watching everything on YouTube, it does give a sense of comfort momentarily, but the pain still lingers, and it becomes a constant reminder in the nights when you sleep or when you have time to be alone. The opposite extreme of this is the attempt to distract ourselves through work, alcohol, partying, and sleeping around, all in the attempt to fill a void. The question that is the fundamental root of this pain is, am I worthy of love? We are attached not to the person per se, but the idea about love projected onto that person. This person then becomes that subject of love and what we believe it's meant to be. And that idea actually gives us judgment, and hence the choices that we will make and the behavior we exhibit. There are days where I would sleep without any goals. I was numb to the pain. I don't want to wake up. There are moments that tears will just roll off my eyes without reason. This is the process of detachment. But there will come a time where the aspirant in this process starts to find the will within to face the truth. And I have to say this, you can't use knowledge to face the truth. It has to take its course naturally. Rest if you need, take care of your overall well-being. Now, I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm just only sharing my own personal experience, and I hope that it will help you. But there are two things that has helped me move on, and the number one thing was the recognition that time heals all wound. And the second is I use time wisely to exercise resilience, by reinforcing a new meaning to my life, the pursuit of something important to me, something that I can dedicate my life to, something that gives me a sense of purpose and supports and uplifts my self-esteem as I walk towards this goal, and feeding my mind with books, removing any triggers from my home that would remind me of my past. This could be photos, music, love notes, birthday cards or Christmas cards, favorite dessert at a restaurant that we enjoyed. And slowly but surely, I constantly work on my mental state, my emotional well-being, my spiritual resilience, fitness, and financial area of life. Fast forward to today, I am loved. I have the time to pursue what I love. I have a sense of purpose only because I have taken that first step. The rest is history. Now, if you are going through this rough patch, know that you are not alone. Please reach out to support in your local country if you need to, or call the SOS hotline and know that there's people who care for someone out there. I'll see you soon.